Hi, I'm Peter Kalmstrom of kalmstrom.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration, I'll show you how to work with Kanban Task Manager for SharePoint. One way to use it is, of course, to create new tickets. So we're going to start with that. Click on the plus and then type in a task name, and there you go. Now it's saved. And as you see, you get a little notification there also. Another way to add new tasks is to go into the grid view and then type it in there. And of course, they also exist right there if you switch over to the Kanban view. Third way to create new tasks is to double click here on a face. If you already know what face this is in, you can click on, let's see, a task that's waiting on somebody else here. Double click there, and as you see, you get that filled out. Let's just call that test 4 and save that. And there you see you've created one. Also in the 7 habits view, if you want to create a urgent and important task, you double click here, and as you see, that now has a high priority and it's set a due date that is actually today. So now that's going to be urgent, of course. Test 6, let's put that in there. And there you see now it's get created as an important and urgent task. That's 3 ways for you to create new tasks in Kanban Task Manager. The next thing I want to show you is how to modify existing tasks. And that is, of course, one of the major features of this product, that you can drag and drop tasks very, very easily. So let's go back to the Kanban view here. And once something is in progress, then you can simply drag it over to in progress. And there you see it gets saved into the tasks. And that's how easy it is to modify the tasks. Same thing with the 7 habits view here. If you decide that this one is actually important and not urgent, now you can simply drag it over there, and that's been saved over into the tasks also. So that's 2 ways of modifying tasks. Another one is, of course, also to double click on the task, and here you can fill in the properties, and here you have a lot more opportunities, of course, to change properties than you can by dragging and dropping. First of all, you can change the task name by simply typing in there. You can change the priority by clicking on this icon up here. So there you see it toggles between the 3 different priorities there. Then you can select the different statuses, and these are from the task status SharePoint field. Here's the percentage, how much is done, and if I change that to completed, it gets set to 100% by default, but the other ones don't have a default percentage, so you can just click on this here to modify the percentage. Then you can assign somebody the task, and here are all the people that are members of this SharePoint site. And you select the person there, and you get a little image there to see who's actually responsible for this task. You can also select multiple. That again is dependent on the field settings in the SharePoint list here, if you want to allow multiple or not. But if I select multiple there and click OK, you see this little icon here indicating that it's multiple people that are responsible for this task. Then of course you can select the date when this is started and when it's due. And then of course you can write a description here, and you have a lot of formatting options here, and then you simply save the task there. As you see, the task now moved into not important because we changed the priority of the task, so that's why it moved down there. And of course you can also modify these tasks in the grid. So there's the one that we've been working on now for 50%. Let's just change that to 60, and that gets saved back into the task, of course. So now I go back into the Kanban view, and you see the little blue line there is indicating that it's 60% done. Another feature that I have put into this product is that you can right-click on a task. For here, for example, you can edit the task right there. That simply is the same thing as double-clicking on it. You can also copy the task. So if you have one task that is very similar to another one, you just copy that task, and as you see, that will get the same assigned to, the same status, same start date, end date, and also the description of that task, and you can just input a new name for that task. So it copies everything over like that. So like that. So now we have a copy of that one, right? You can remove the task, of course, that doesn't complete it, but it takes it away entirely from your SharePoint list. It still goes to the recycle bin, of course, but that removes it. You get a confirmation and then simply remove there. So that's on the context menu. And also you have the comment thing here. This adds a comment to the task. It simply asks you, what do you want to say? Test comment. That's a good comment, right? Then you add that. So that now adds a test comment in there. And it works exactly the same on the Kanban board here. Same thing. You also have the SharePoint item there, which opens this particular task in the classic SharePoint list. So that's a few different ways to work with Kanban Task Manager for SharePoint. Thank you for watching this demonstration.